Imagine you are at a concert with two stages. Stage A featuring your favorite artist and stage B is going to feature a new band which can become your next favorite. So which stage you will choose? So this is something called as dilemma, right? Every day we will be having n number of choices of which you have to pick any one amongst your most favorite options as well. So this is something that is very common in economy and how it is going to impact the everyday life of the people. So let's study this under the topic called as scarcity and opportunity cost. I welcome you all to UPSC Warriors channel. This is Soundarya. So we are basically continuing our basics of economy series and the topic for today's discussion is scarcity and opportunity cost. Before we begin, I would like to make a quick recap of what are all the topics that we covered so far. So first we started with what is mean by economy and what are the different types of economic sectors we have and what are the different types of economic activities that are there. And then in the next video we studied about micro and macro economy, right, and how this micro and macroeconomy is different from each other. And then we studied about different types of economic systems like traditional economy. We also studied about command economy, and then in the next video we discussed about the main differences between market economy, mixed economy and of course the command or the planned economy. So these are the topics that we covered so far, and from now I hope you will have all your doubts clarified, and if in case if you have any doubts, please drop a message in the comment section. And we are going to study so happily today about scarcity and opportunity cost. This is my favorite topic. I hope this will also become your favorite topic in few minutes, right? Okay, so what is economy? Basically, we learnt so far that it is all about optimum utilization of resources, right? Okay, so economy is not always about money. Okay, this also we learnt in the previous class, right? So then what is economy all about? Economy is all about making choices, right? Okay, so what kind of choices we make? We make choices like what to produce, how much to produce and for whom to produce, right? So I told you that these three are the main economic questions that will be there across all the countries, and how you are going to decide what to produce, how much to produce and for whom to produce will decide the type of the economic system that you have in the country, right? So we discussed about market economy, mixed economy and command economy based on how these decisions are usually made, and these decisions will be determined according to the country's socio-economic goals, right? This is what we learnt so far, clear? So it is all about making choices, and now we will start from this question: why should we have to make choices? We have to make choices because we want to optimally utilize the resources. Why do we have to optimally utilize the resources? Just imagine if God is blessing you, okay, saying this, you can have everything you want. Just think of everything that you would have if you could have anything. I would definitely, want all these things in my list. For example, I want a two-wheeler, okay, I would like to buy some 10 puppies and then 3 cats, okay, and then the list goes like this, right? Okay, probably I will find a nice stay for me and for my parents. So this list will go without end, but just imagine you have to multiply this by 8.2 billion population. Why? Because the population of the world is 8.2 billion, right? So do you think that it is possible to fulfill all the needs and wants of all the people in the globe? Definitely not possible. Why so? It is because our needs and wants are unlimited, but the resources are limited, right? Okay, so the resources that we have in this world is limited, that it is not possible for us to meet or fulfill the needs and demands of all the people. Okay, so why? It is because we have scarce resources. So I am going to introduce you to a new term called as scarcity. So let's study what is mean by scarcity in economics. Okay, fine. So Scarcity is nothing but it is a condition which constantly exists as a result of society not being able to fulfill or produce the needs and wants of all the people in the country. It is as simple as that, right? So we have our resources limited. We have our resources like land, resources like water, resources like human, labor, capital, everything limited, so that it is becoming difficult for us, or it is even not possible for us to fulfill the needs of all the people, fulfill the needs in sense even the basic needs as well as the needs of all the people in the society, in the world, right? So this is something called as what? Scarcity. Let's read the definition now. So what is scarcity basically? Scarcity refers to a condition in which we are not able to fulfill or produce what everyone needs and wants, right? Okay. And then, so how do we have to deal with this scarcity? We have to deal with this scarcity by making careful choices, because the limited resources are there, and if in case if we are not able to make use of optimum utilization of resources, what would happen? Definitely it would lead to a condition of poverty, homelessness and starvation. Okay, so just imagine if you are not making use of the scarce resources. For example, those who are preparing for UPSC examination, time is a very scarce resource, right? So you have to always decide between using that time for your studies, revision, or for scrolling through social media, hanging out with friends, etc. So unless and until you are not going to utilize the scarce resources that you have properly, it is not going to help you in your favor, right? Similarly, if we are not going to make use of the scarce resources that are there in the world, if we are going to waste it, then obviously we will end up having problems like poverty, problems like starvation, homelessness, etc. So this is the reason why we have all these economic problems in place. I will give you one example of Namibia. So Namibia has recently planned to kill 723 wild animals including zebra, elephant, etc. for providing food to the people. Okay, so why? It is because it is running scarce of food resources, where about 1.4 million population, that is half of the population, is in starvation, right? So this is the condition that Namibia has right now. Again, why? It is because it is not properly utilizing the scarce resources. So if we are not utilizing it properly, we will have people who have their needs met, greeds met on one side, but on the other side we will have people literally starving for food, right? So next time, before wasting food, please think of this condition that is there not only in Namibia but across many places in the world, and make use of whatever you have properly, okay, at the optimum level. This applies to me as well. Now, how to make use of these scarce resources? This comes the next question: how in economy we are utilizing the resources optimally, right? Okay, so it is done by the help of economy, like studying the economy as a subject, because it is going to basically study how the individuals, how the firms, how the governments are making decisions, like how to produce, how much to produce, and to whom to produce, etc., in such a way that it is able to enabling them to make resources properly. Just take the condition of India. When we got independence, we had almost 85% of the people dependent on agriculture, right? In agriculture, we had various problems, like we had labor surplus with low productivity, we had commercialization of agriculture, we had lack of investment facilities, irrigation facilities, etc. And talking about the industrial sector, we had these problems like lack of modernization in industries, and we had very few industries in India, being run by the public sector, and industries are not having enough of labors. We had deindustrialization. So the overall economic condition was very, very poor. So because of having this condition of economy, where we have very poor demography, we had very high birth rate, we had very high rates of mortality, the government chose to adopt a mixed economic model. Government chose to adopt a socialism, where the economic system will function in such a way that the government will play a key role in controlling the market. Okay, so in previous class we discussed, right, what are the advantages of mixed economy, market economy and command economy. There I told you that in the mixed economy model, the government is going to take care of the control of market in such a way that it is able to provide the people with all the basic needs, and it will also allow some of the roles to be played by the private. And whenever the market is facing any problems, government is going to come and take steps and control the market. So that is why India chose to adopt socialism. India chose to adopt mixed economic model. Okay. Now, it is something which will mostly depend upon the decisions that we make, right? So we have to make these 3 decisions very carefully. That is what I am trying to tell you, for whom to produce, right? So these are the 3 important decisions that any economic system will have to take. And now whatever decision that we are going to make will always lead to trade-off. So before studying about opportunity cost, I would like to introduce this term called as trade-off to you. So what is mean by trade-off? I am saying that whenever you make any decision, whenever you pick any one of the choices among the many other choices that you have, you will end up having n number of trade-offs. Okay, so each of the alternate options given up while making a decision or a choice is called as a trade-off. Each of the alternate option that you give up so as to pick out one choice is called as a trade-off. There will be n number of trade-offs for every decision that we make. So I am going to explain that with the help of example. Just read this example. What did you give up when you made this choice of preparing UPSC? So comment in the comment section what are all the options or the trade-offs that you given up during making this choice of preparing for UPSC. Obviously no friends, right, and no family time, and then no hanging out with your girlfriend or boyfriend, whatever it is. So these are some of the decisions and these are some of the sacrifices that you choose to give up while jumping into UPSC preparation. But then we did not know that it will long for maybe 4 or 5 years. But it's okay, right? So unless and until your efforts are, true, God will always bless you with good results. So don't worry. Let's come back to this now. So we will see this example. What did you give up when you decided to go abroad? When I decided to go abroad, I decided to give up spending time with my family. I decided to give up staying in my home country. So these are the options or these are the trade-offs, right? So how many trade-offs can be there for every choice you make in everyday life? Just imagine. Okay. So we will see some other examples. What did you give up to attend this class? Maybe an hour on Instagram, an hour on YouTube. Okay. So what did you give up for buying a laptop? So I asked my father laptop. He said, if you're not getting mobile for next 2 years, I'll get you that. So that is a trade-off. So what is mean by trade-off in economy? The every alternate option that you give up for making a choice is called as a trade-off. Very good. So we learnt what is trade-off. Now we are going to link this trade-off to opportunity cost. Okay. So these are some of the examples of trade-offs that you have while making any choice. And now moving on to the opportunity cost. See, for every decision that we make, there are n number of trade-offs, right? But opportunity cost will always be one. Okay. The most desired trade-off that you make with an option or a decision is called as an opportunity cost. So what is opportunity cost? Although trade-offs are many, opportunity cost is always going to be one. It is defined as the most desired trade-off of a decision. Okay. So I am going to help explain this with the help of example. Okay. So when we saw this question of what options that you choose to give up when you decided to jump into UPSC preparation, amongst all other options like spending time with family, friends, etc., this can be one option. Okay, your job offer, right? So we have so many people who rejected the job offer and then came to UPSC preparation. So this can be the most desired options or most desired trade-offs when compared with the other trade-offs of not spending time with family, not spending time with friends, etc., right? This is something which is going to cost you very high. Clear? So this type of most desired trade-off can be called as what? Opportunity cost. So for every n number of trade-offs that you make with respect to a particular decision, you will always have only one opportunity cost. Clear? So I am going to give you another example for this opportunity cost in real life example, how this opportunity cost is going to work in economy. Just imagine a firm who have to make analysis about the opportunity cost while making decisions regarding any production. Okay. Why we have to make choices? Because the resources are limited and scarce. So just imagine there is a firm which has to make choice, any one choice among these two options. Okay. Why? Because the resources or the capital that it has is limited, so that it can either choose to produce either this combination A or this combination B. Okay. In combination A, if the if the industry is deciding to produce bikes, 10 million bikes, then it can have resources left only for making 25 million cars. So this is the combination A. It can either go for A or it can go for B. In B, if the industry is deciding to produce 30 million bikes, it can make only 10 million cars. It has to choose any one between these two choices. So what would be the opportunity cost for the firm here? If the company or if the industry is going to choose option A, okay, where the bikes are going to be 10 million in numbers and cars are going to be 25 million, it will not go for option B, clear? And vice versa. Just imagine if I am the industry owner and I decide to increase my bike production from 30 million, 10 million to 30 million. So I am going for combination B. Okay, so if I am deciding to increase the production of the bike from 10 million to 30 million, so what will I obviously end at? End at making only 10 million cars and not 25 million cars, right? So I will not be able to make 25 million cars. Why? Because I am choosing option B. Okay, so what would be the opportunity cost here? Opportunity cost will be equal to this 25 million minus 10 million, that is 15 million cars. Clear? So if I am trying to increase my bike production from somewhere 10 million to 30 million, then I will not have enough resources for making 25 million cars. In that case, I will make only 10 million cars. So what would be my opportunity cost here? My opportunity cost would be, you have to subtract these two, that is 15 millions. So let's understand this with another example. If the government is planning to make any of these two choices, where in choice A, it is planning to make 500 million tons worth of military goods and along with that 500 million tons of consumer goods. In choice B, the government plans to make 150 million tons of military goods and consumer goods worth 800 million. So what happens is that if the government is trying to increase its production of military goods from 150 million to 500 million, so that it is picking choice A basically, then what would be the opportunity cost? Opportunity cost would be the government will not have enough resources to make 800 million tons of consumer goods, so it will obviously have resources to make only 500 million tons. Opportunity cost is 800 minus 500, that is going to be 300 million tons, right? And now, what type of the choice that the government should make? Again, it depends upon the government socio-economic goals. That is why we say planning is very important. Planning for the country involves so many factors that you have to consider. At the same time, you have to pick out any one between the two most important options that you have, that you cannot afford to lose one for another. But at the same time, you will have to obviously pick out any choice. And in that case, what are the factors that we are going to consider? How it is going to impact the country, how it is going to impact the individual. So we have to take care of all these things, and that is how we make choices in economy, and that is how the choices are reflecting in the economy as well as in the development as well as in the economic growth of the country. Okay, so this makes economy very interesting. Right now, if you go and analyze each and every performance of the countries across the world with respect to the economy, you will be able to figure out some countries are doing exceptionally well and some countries are not doing well, and then try to figure out what could be the reasons, what could be the possible mistakes that the government did while making choices, right? Because you can also try to do this case study of finding out how China started and how India started. Okay, so I would say both started from the same level, right? But then how China is able to have this type of development, what went positive with China and what really happened with respect to India, that is actually making it pulling India back. Okay, because we are not able to absorb enough of resources in the manufacturing sector. That is why the government is pushing so much of labors or so much of schemes with respect to manufacturing sectors. Why? Because India transformed from agriculture to directly service-led economy and not to the manufacturing economy which China had achieved, right? So I hope that this will make economy interesting for you. If not, I will come up soon with some economy case study based videos where we are going to pick up the economic performance of each and every individual state in the India and then try to learn the economy at a macro scale. So that's it for today. So we learned what is scarcity and what are the choices that we make and how it is going to impact the economy, and this is something that's going to lead to trade-offs and opportunity cost. So So that's it for today. Thank you so much for watching. If you have any doubt, I would always say please drop a message in the comment section, and we'll meet you soon in the next video. Bye bye.